rage of the Reich. A barrage of mortars and guns stand past, the bunkers will hold. The captain has pledged his life. I'll face my fate here. The sound of artillery strike, so fierce the thunder of guns. So come bring on all that you've got. Come hell, come high water, never stop. Unless you are 40-1, your lives will soon be undone. Undone. Baptized in fire, 40-1. Spirit of Spartans, death and glory. Soldiers of Poland, second to none. Wrath of the Wehrmacht brought to our foes. Always remember a fallen soldier. Always remember fathers and sons at war. Always remember a fallen soldier. Always remember you read in history. No army may enter that land that is protected by Polish hands. Unless you are 40-1, your force will soon be undone. Undone. Baptized in fire, 40-1. Spirit of Spartans, death and glory. Soldiers of Poland, second to none. Wrath of the Wehrmacht brought to our home. No, no, no!
Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know, that's Sabaton. The song's named 40-1. Very big fan of the band as well as the song. So the history on that is actually really interesting too. So I would strongly recommend for those of you not familiar with it to check out the original Polish resistance to the German attack. So, picking up where we left off, we did a round of political animals last Tuesday, and I mean, it was election night, right? And I did run into a bug in the game, so we didn't quite give it the treatment that I think it deserved. It's a really charming game, and it's a fun one. So I think I've kind of got some of the basics. I think I know some of the mistakes that I had. Hey, Bloggin' thank you very much for that host, by the way. But I thought, I thought it might be fun to pick this up again, see if I can maybe do a little bit better. On the first play, we had a very close election, and I think that's a sign of a game that's really well designed when, you know, with a basic knowledge of the game mechanics, you can sort of get about even. I'm just gonna turn the master volume down a little bit. There we go. So yeah, hopefully maybe we can have a victory under our belts this time around. But I wanted to take a quick second here and say thank you to some people hosting us tonight. Jessie Quill, obviously biggest caster, who's hosting me this evening. I'd love to give her a big shout out, but she's usually going to stop by sometime later in the night. So I'll be sure to shout her out before the end of the evening. Bloggin', a newer caster, who's, or rather recently taken up casting again. And the Rambler 146. So thank you very much for those hosts, guys. To answer your question, Lego Kip, we'll probably only be streaming for about an hour. I do kind of want to be in bed by 11 o'clock tonight, but I'm doing some laundry, so I thought Political Animals is a nice game that I can probably get like one round in for before I need to go to bed. And you know, we can do something a little bit along the lines of running through the game, trying to fix some of the things that we got wrong, and I don't know, achieve victory. All right, so tonight I'm feeling Bernie Sanders. Who do I want to be? You know what? Let's do Bulldog again. So, I'm gonna start with some special abilities. Johnny Big Time, thank you very much for that, host. Great to see you again. I'll just take a quick look and see if... Hey, there he is. Guys, Johnny Big Time is an absolutely outstanding caster. The game, the audio cuts out whenever I go outside the window, so Johnny, if you could give yourself a quick shout out, exclamation mark, SO, and your name, that should work for you. But guys, definitely check out Johnny Big Time as well. He's an outstanding caster, really friendly, really funny guy. A lot of fun to see him. I also got to see him when I tried out Periscope for a few minutes tonight. What have you been up to lately? I know you, wait a minute, so I watched you play Titanfall 2, but I can't remember the last thing that you... Oh, for God's sake. Alright, I'll do it manually. Sorry about that, Johnny. I'm gonna go in and manually change my bot again. Anyways, I can't remember the last thing that you were streaming because I've been out of the loop a little bit, but he's an absolutely outstanding guy. Plays a variety of games, one of those true variety casters who can pretty much do anything on Twitch and make it great. So definitely recommend him. He's one of my favorite casters to watch and criminally underappreciated in my view. I definitely think that he deserves a much bigger audience than he receives, but I'm also very encouraged to see his audience grow. So. Oh, beat Watch Dogs, that's right. Yeah, I hear you on that, Johnny. I'm a little late casting myself, so... Alright, so I'm actually having a little trouble deciding what I want Bulldog to do this time around. I really liked People Power, because that was a nice little backup. The other alternative I could do would be Inspire. Actually, I like this idea of Inspire, because it seems a pretty unique ability for the candidate to have, and I'll probably have my biggest electoral success there. So... let's see. I think good looking is a good one. Lower, so either efficient or good looking, I think, are the calls. Or alternatively, empathy, because I do tend to use a lot of rallies. Now, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to do good looking again just because I want to try and reduce my my scandal tendencies and my weakness. Man, socially awkward seems like a... You know what? Let's actually try unpopular. This seems like a really challenging one, but I'm gonna give... You make great non-cast because you don't cast. Let's try unpopular. I'm actually a little curious how that'll turn out. So this means our campaign results are gonna be lower. I think I want to start in Capitolio again. I'm just gonna start with Autumn Island. Oh, actually, so I can double down on my lower chances of scandals being discovered? So let me see my most populous. So basically what I'm looking at. This would have been a good one because I got really hammered on the gifts last time, but I actually like this idea. So I can either double down on lower scandal discovery, or I can boost my chance. I think I'm going to go back for the capital again. All right, education and health. I think I'm going to focus on health. So I'll adopt sort of a northern strategy. I'll adopt a primarily northern strategy and then sort of secondary in the south. All right, finally, the staff's going to be pretty important. So I want I want at least one activist, so good for rallies and sort of, how to put it, rallies and, what do you call it? Like the gaining reputation only from logistics. So in this case, Tortina's not going to be good at the gift. So I want to get somebody who's good at giving gifts. That looks like Francisco. Fabricates a scandal for an opponent in a district. That's another good one, but is not a good campaigner. Alternatively, actually, you know what? Rabinoso is probably the better one here because we can get raise funds and gift results. Now, last thing we can do is Alberto, who's good at rallies and settle scandals, but we've got a bit of a free agent here, so let's see what we can do here. Ratonino, I think I'm going to have to go for Alberto. So Alberto is going to be my secondary. Okay, so I've got two rally agents. Alberto's largely just going to be sitting idle. Actually, yeah. Okay, who else can give me bonuses on rallies? Can get another activist. Or I can get a preacher. You know what? If this is going to be a sort of a secondary... Oh, that's right. The rallies were not that helpful for me. Okay, so I like the idea of Tortina the activist, who's going to get me influence through logistics. I like the idea of the preacher, who's going to be good at campaigning for me. I want to see if anybody else is good at campaigning. Yeah, so it's just the preacher. Okay, I'm happier with this group. I'll try and explain what's going on. And can we do... you know what? We'll do another 30-day... Actually... Randomize... Okay, I'm gonna keep randomizing this until I get my first moderate. All right, there we go. It's gonna be 25 days here, but I don't want to go too difficult, so. Bulldog versus Goatee. All right, so let's, sorry guys, I went a little internal there for a second. Good Lord, sorry, I'm knocking over my, my microphone quite a bit, so let's just realign this. All right, guys, so, how do I explain what's going on here? So the basics of the game come down to capturing the popular vote only. So the most direct way that you can do this is campaign in the individual districts and get the most number of, the highest number of people on your side. However, the other thing that you can do is, the other thing that will determine your success is your the number of undecided voters. So what you sort of need to do is you need to manage, victory is determined by the popular vote only, but you need to manage your resources such as money, logistics, and you also need to manage things like scandals that come up in various districts. Hey Kite, great to see you again. Guys, Kite is another fantastic caster. Let me give him a quick shout out here, even though I know it cuts the game. Another great variety caster. In his case, I would definitely say somebody much more focused on the other individuals. He's somebody who I think is really talented at connecting with people and connecting with other casters. Some of his co-op casts have been my favorite to watch. So definitely somebody I think is also worth your attention alongside Johnny Big Time and our other 3 hosts tonight. But yeah, so in addition to sort of these maneuvering resources, you can have things like events and scandals break out. So I'll maybe talk about those as they emerge. But right now we've got Hogsworth Academy. The wealthy patron of this district has approached you asking for a favor. Their child wants to get into the prestigious school in the district, but has failed to pass the entrance exam. He would be indebted to you if you can get his child accepted into the school. Now, what I could do is I could call in a few favors. Your child will be studying there in no time. Now, this will increase the patron relationship, but it'll add scandal to me. It'll also decrease my logistics. So let's just see. The wealthy patron actually increases my funds. So this is a pretty much damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I say no, then I'm going to be receiving fewer funds for my fundraising. But if I accept it, I'm going to lose 1 logistics, and I'm also going to add a scandal. Unfortunately, though, this is going to be sort of my cash cow, so I'm going to have to just bite the bullet on this. All right, so like last time, I'm actually going to use airport as my first, effort to campaign. So we're going to deploy. Actually, let's just, before I do anything crazy, we've got farm and we've got resort. I think I'm actually going to move. I actually want my stronger campaigner in airport, and Bulldog, ironically, is not that one. Next up, let's move. Let's move Tortina up there as well. I'm actually going to move Bulldog a little more southernly. Hey, Spectre, good to see you again. Doing well. Had a wonderful weekend. Actually, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend as well. So, there's a couple things that I failed to appreciate. First of all, in this one, your relationships with the patrons are going to determine things like your logistics costs and your campaign results. So, for instance, here, I can increase my reputation in this district just from the... basically just from spending some money. If I would like to sort of lower the cost of taking that action, I could also sort of not bribe, but give a gift to a patron. So the preacher would be good for that. And let's say we wanted to decrease it here, I could boost the relationship like that. I'm not going to do that actually. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bunch of money into campaigning. No more cages, no more food chains. And we gain 3,000 of the popular vote in here. What I'm actually wanting to try and do is close off airport to my opponent because we're roughly matched on health. But we need a little bit of work to be done there, and we actually need to move at least 2 districts to capture that area. So next up, we need to see what Tortina is going to do. I think though, let's okay, so it looks like things are kind of rough all around. So let's start with a... that's going to cost me 5, huh? Well, let's raise some funds then. This is why we maintain the relationship. So we're actually ahead of the game in terms of funding. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to take those 5 points and we're actually going to use my sort of my community organizing to boost our campaigning. So there we go, fight for our rights. And we've added further votes to our cause. So the idea here is that I lost one of my logistics due to this event down here. And while I wanted to do something with Bulldog, I wasn't really convinced that all of my options were I'm not sure all of my options were the best, so I kind of waited. I guess I could have tried to do an inspiration, but we'll see what happens next turn. So let's take a look and see what Goat does. Okay, so in this case they're kind of doing all of these gifts to try and soften up these districts for play. which is all right. I'm not going to pay Rabonzo, and the reason for that is that you can actually just stay still and fundraise in a district without paying somebody. But I do actually want to use Ricardog and Tortina. So I'm going to pay these two, and it's going to cost me 6,300. All right. So Godi made a deal in port. And the patrons and casino support Godi. Let's see if we can... If they can get the support of voters, they can capture it. Okay. So the question is, do we want to continue our work here, or do we want to make the move on airport? I think making the move on airport is the better call. So let's move Ricardog and Tortina. Now let's just see what happens if I do an inspiration here. So it's going to cost me 7,000 and I'm going to get 5 for that. So let's go for it. Now the preacher's going to be better at doing the gift, so I can either... I think in this case, let's boost up the relationship to... let's boost up the relationship to make our logistics go further. I'm gonna spend some money, or we're gonna raise some money in this district, and I've got 10 logistics left. So I actually might have wasted Bulldog's turn because I'm not sure I can really make. Yeah, I can't really make this 10 go very far. Yeah, so in this case, this is basically 5 wasted. So I wasted $7,000 on this, basically. That's fine. All right, so again, Rabonzo, we're just gonna hold off. All right, so next up, let's see what we can do in terms of... I think we want to move the needle on... Oh, wrong one. We want to move the needle on this particular patron, so it's going to cost us a lot, and we're not going to accomplish too much with it. But we are actually at least getting them out of the negatives. Oh, all right. You receive a visit from the police. They show you a video of one of your staff burying money in a convent. We believe that your staff is secretly stealing from you and would like to interrogate them. I'm sure he's innocent. Interrogate him if you want. So a random staff member would be disabled. He's busy right now, losing money and gain a scandal, or cut a deal with your staff, gain funds, and add a scandal. In this case, I think I'm going to risk the scandal because, of course, I've got a good-looking character, so... Hey! How you doing, Johnny? So in this particular case here, I've got a higher scandal, but again, this is a character who should have a little bit of an easier time with those. So, I've got 2 points for a campaign. Let's see what Tortina can do as far as blowing logistics. So I've got +4, so that's going to be 5, so I've got 3 left over. Alright, so the way that we're going to do this is we're going to, again... engage in some activism. We're going to raise funds. Oh, I blew it. So the question is... I'm not going to do anything. I'm using my turns a little inefficiently, but... Alright, now in this case, I'm actually out of fundraising for things to do, so Rabonzo is going to have to be paid this turn. I think we're going to do another gift, and I think probably the better call here is... we're going to go for the 44. So noticing here, raise funds, there's nothing left over. So my question is, I can either hop, or I can move and try and get some work done. Is it going to cost me to... Let's see if we can get a little something done. We've been focusing on these two regions, so let's keep focusing on that. It's going to cost 5 to campaign. Okay, so it's going to cost me 1 to inspire. So in this case, we're going to do an occupation here. We're going to get Bulldog to inspire. And I can either give a gift. How am I money-wise? Well, if I campaign, what's it? Let's give it a shot. Oh, that actually paid off really well. That was about 7,000 votes. Hey again, sweet peanut butter. Alright, so just taking a quick look here, we're positioning ourselves relatively well, but again, in terms of patrons and that, I think Goaty has got a little bit of an advantage on us. So we want to be careful in terms of how we're managing these things. I'm doing all right for money. The next couple of turns are going to hurt a little bit in terms of cash because I've tapped out this area and I don't have a lot of deep pockets. I might actually move Rabonzo into this district so I can get some more money. But we'll see what turns out, what happens next turn. I don't know if Bulldog will be able to do that this time around, Johnny Big Time. Alright, do I want to pay my full staff? I'm gonna say yes. Alright, monkey business. A monkey in a business suit approaches you. My miners are on strike asking for better health benefits. We can't afford it right now. Help us and we'll help you. I can talk to the miners, but I need your help, so my health is going to go down in the region, and it'll add a scandal. I'll talk to them, but I need you to support my campaign, okay. Let's say, sorry, I can't do that, because I can always inspire to make that up. So first up, I can do a gift, and we're going to lock up the remaining patrons but not as the preacher. Oh yes, I do need to do it as the preacher. So in this case, we want to have a 26. So we're kind of positioned now to try and make a play for this, for airport, and lock it up. I think in this case I am going to do the inspiration, but... So what'll it cost me to... Oh, I don't want to bribe. I want to raise money. It's going to cost me 4 to raise funds, and I'll only get 8,000 out of it. So maybe I move to one of my better districts. So Tertina is going to pay 5 to engage in some activism. Rabonzo... Ah, it's only going to be 1. Interesting. Okay. We'll start with that. So I can either raise funds for 1, and this will give me 22, or I could campaign. This is actually a little more tempting. I'm okay for money right now. How much money is left in this district? I think let's go for a big push in this district. Because I do want to lock up this district as quickly as I can, so we'll end the turn. Okay, weekend report. Bulldog is in the lead with 354,295 votes on day 5. Informants say that we have support of this district's popular patron campaign here to increase your reputation. This is in Cathedral. And the staff wants to know if he can generate logistics. Alright, so paying everyone again. Rabonzo is actually going to hop back to the capital. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So I just wasted logistics for something that doesn't accomplish anything. Okay, venomous tongue of a tabloid journalist has been spreading rumors about you. How do you deal with him? Make him disappear. And we inspire. That's really disappointing about what happened with the with Rabonzo. But no real crying over spilt milk on this one. So let's campaign in airport. And the question is, so if I campaign with Tortina, it's potentially 11. And if I do people power, it's potentially 8. So 7437 or 02. Okay, I think in this case the safer bet is it's less money and tighter bound, so. I think it's a fairly decent start. We're certainly capturing some votes, and I think we're in a good position to move into Cathedral shortly after this. Again, we'll pay everybody. Move selected staff to an addition. Oh, I get it. So I'm supposed to use one move, and then I'm supposed to use the ability. I get it. Okay. So this guy's actually good for moving everything. So anyways, we're going to raise some funds because I'm getting a little dry. Again, we're going to just continue to hit hard on airport. All right, so it looks like we're capturing the district. The only question is, do I want to keep... I think I might actually want to push my advantage on this, so... There's a lot of votes that we can capture in this. And unfortunately, all I can do here is inspire, so in this case I'm just going to have my candidate sort of sit idly by. It's kind of funny here, I've got a candidate who's actually really not doing a whole lot, but... Alright, so now we actually want to make sure that we're not losing this district. So Rabonzo I'm going to keep back. Alright, in a party you find yourself in the company of Madame Bovany, the richest cow in the island. She says that she just lost her husband in a terrible accident. Let's skip this party and go somewhere. Bonus to patron relationship, bonus to funds, but adds to scandal. So again, we're risking the scandal by quite a bit. But this could potentially pay off for us if we manage it well. So I think what I'm going to do... I'm going to move Tortina. No. Tortina's going to continue doing activism in airport. Ricardog is going to start moving on the potential patrons. So let's do a gift. And first thing we want to do is increase our logistics here. So 20,000 to the owl. This is also going to start making things difficult for Godi to do in the district. So I think what I might do is I'm actually going to I'm going to play hardball on here, and I'm actually going to also give a gift. Oh, perfect. Yeah, Bulldog's exactly what we need on this. So in this case, 43. And we make it hard for Godi to move in this district. Hey, Jessie Quill! All right, let me just take a second here and shout out this lovely lady, guys. Jessie Quill, I got a chance to see her in my home city of Ottawa. Absolutely wonderful human being. I'm always so lucky to get to meet her. All right, so I can raise, I think raising funds is the play here. So I actually could have afforded not to pay Tortina. That's all good. She's a variety caster herself, and actually she's also a manager of influencers and content creators. She is... Okay, good. So we pushed Godi out of the district. So no for Rabonzo. Okay, let me just take a minute to shout her out. She recently just finished Dishonored and will be returning to BioShock Infinite Burial at Sea Episode 2 before too long. But most importantly, just one of these people who I think kind of stands as the as really the hallmark to me of what can be done on Twitch and done with the broadcast medium. She really covers everything. She's somebody who just continues to sort of show exactly how to innovate on casts, how to do the traditional style very well. But I mean, she really effortlessly moves between creative to, very serious discussions like what we sort of try to have here. She's very well versed in psychology and computer science, and never fails to connect with her audience. I think one of the big things that you'll notice is that the more you watch her cast, the more you see that people feel comfortable talking about some of the things going on in their life, and she's really been able to help people through these things, which I think is really admirable. So definitely somebody worth checking out. All right. Is it Dublin Pappy? How you doing tonight? Good to see you again. All right, so I think we're still going to pay everyone. I may need to do an inspiration, but let's see. Okay, so we've got Cody made a deal in Cathedral. Alarming. So let's see what Bulldog can do in terms of winning hearts and minds. So I need 33 to bring over a campaigner. Okay, good. So the question here is, do I want a campaign? Oh yeah, that's a potentially huge windfall. Yeah. So I've got 6 left for moves. I think what we're going to do is we're going to raise some money, and then we're going to spend the rest on activism. So we continue to push ourselves in airport. We'll raise fund and capital. So this is actually a great example of a turn that I want to do. So we're building our influence in Cathedral. The last thing that we need to do is sort of build up our patron relationships here. We've already sort of locked up airport, and we're just kind of continuing to gobble up the undecided votes there. And the decision that I need to make next would be, do I go to mines where I'm somewhat competitive, or do I go to factory next? It's a little bit of a tough call. I think I need to decide. I'll see what happens in the next round, but I think the fact that I've got an influential patron here, it might actually make some sense to move Ricardog up. Oh, not a problem at all, just equal. And more importantly too, I did get a chance. I did get a chance to see Jess, like I said, in my hometown, and as everybody is gracious and fun to be with, as she is on cast. So. All right, so it looks like they're working pretty hard on police station, which is good for me. All right, so I do need to move Rabonzo, so we're going to pay him this turn. I think we're going to pay everyone again. And we've got an event in the capital. So in a TV interview, the host of the show asks you, are there any truths to the rumors that you are seeing the widow Madame Bovany? Animals are saying that she is a contributor to your campaign. Please shed some light on these stories for our viewers. She's very special to me, raises my scandal, but also gives me some money. So again, scandals are going to be the thing that potentially undo the campaign, but we'll see if we can get away with murder, basically. So we're going to use that, put that money to good use. We're going to build up the relationship with a wealthy patron. So I've got 8 left to do, so I can continue to get the dog to campaign for me. Yeah, let's see. So campaign. So I potentially blow everything on. How much do we have left? Yeah, so that's just a move. So yeah, we'll blow everything on. Oh, can't do occupation, but we can do a mob. We're more or less just doubling down on this area because we can just keep building up some votes. We do have an 80,000 vote lead right now, which is not bad for us. And we've got some fairly good inroads inside here. So we also have an alternative in terms of fundraising for Rabonzo. By the way, if any of you guys have some questions? All right, have a good one, Sam Samson. Good to see you again. All right, so we definitely want to make some moves here. All right, informants say that you have scandals in this district. Prevent more scandals from happening here or risk getting them discovered. And my fabricated village. All right, so I want to have somebody who's good at giving gifts to move up into mines. Okay, a recording of what seems to be our opponent violently pulling a waitress's ponytail has come into our hands as your campaign manager. Let's blackmail the opponent because I actually have some stuff I want to get done. Alright, so I'm actually going to move Bulldog up to the next region. Oh, I blew it. I gotta give the gift now. So I gotta go up by 43 for the gift. So again, we're on our way to sort of locking up some of the vote. Robonzo, unfortunately, I didn't use very efficiently. Oh, we still got some left. Okay, so we'll raise funds here. Actually, I could also use him to move Bulldog. Move selected staff to an adjacent district. I actually don't understand how this this ability works at all. So I think in this case we'll just keep raising funds. Tortina will go heavy on occupation. How many undecided do we have left here? Still 36, so we can still build some momentum. Okay, so I mean, we sort of wasted the logistics that we got. I actually probably should have used that differently, but I also thought I would be able to move somebody, so fair enough. I do really need to be careful about what goes on here, though. Yeah, so they're going pretty hard on this region. So Robonzo is not going to get paid, so we can keep him fundraising. We're going to move Bulldog in here, and what we're going to start doing is counteracting the influence on this patron. So we're actually going to push him fully into our category. We want 39. This is going to allow me to get a lot done in this district. So next up, we're going to campaign. That's a big bonus that we got there. That's near the top. And I think what we'll just continue to do is raise funds. And Tortina's just going to continue. What I could potentially do here is I could actually sort of abandon this effort here where Airport is already kind of in my column. What I could do is I could actually move Tortina into this district and start campaigning. This actually might be a good idea. Let's see if I can push some momentum. Just to try and make this a little less attractive. Cathedral should actually be falling into my column pretty soon too. And we've got 14 days left till the election, so. All right, yeah, and it looks like they're kind of trying to consolidate their own base. We're actually doing a very good job of pushing them out of these districts. So, Robonzo, no pay, and yeah, we'll just keep going as we have. So I think in this case, we're actually just gonna rinse and repeat. We max out our spending inside here. So this has gone into our column. Swimming with sharks, looks like you're down on your luck, says the shark. I'll lend you 30,000, take it or leave it. Sure. And again, we've raised our scandals. So again, one of the things that could happen, if these scandals break, if the good looking for Bulldog doesn't hold, I'm going to start losing votes in these districts. So I am being somewhat reckless in this, but it's a bit of a calculated risk that I'm taking. So we'll raise funds in this district. Jesse Quill, I believe there is actually a day, I believe there is a celebration known as Buy Nothing Day, which is supposed to occur on on Black Friday and is specifically to do what you're talking about. All right, so in this case, we're gonna I don't want to campaign. I actually want to gift patron. So in this case, I specifically want this one so that I can boost the turnout at the rallies. So in this case, I want 39 if I can. Indeed, I can. And again, it's now all of a sudden a lot more difficult for them to act in lines. So, actually, so I can campaign potentially 11,000 or potentially nothing, or I could do an occupation and 7 to 8. So again, the more narrow band, and so in this case I want to start... What I want to try and start doing is actually stealing this away from my opponent, because in this case, with a little bit of maneuvering, we're at the same in terms of the coverage, in terms of our platforms, but because I have a little bit of momentum in terms of the campaigning, I might be able to steal these undecideds and put mines into my column. Okay, I think we're done this turn, so... I don't think it works that way, Jesse Quill. Maybe in Crusader Kings. Okay, so I have a few decisions to make. I think I'm going to keep Robonzo idle. Yeah. So the big question is, how do I want to spend this turn? There's still a lot of undecided votes here, so I think actually we go heavy on campaigning, to be honest. So unfortunately, campaign result, I'm not going to get a whole lot from doing this as Bulldog. Or maybe I am, actually. Let's take a look. So, Bulldog campaigns for 2. Ricardog campaigns. It's a lot of money we're going to be spending, but we're getting near the home stretch too, so we can sort of afford to empty our treasury. Tortina also goes for an occupation, so... Oh, perfect. So the gambit paid off. Everything's really expensive for the AI to do here. So now what they do, they're sort of locked into these blocks here. But basically, there's not a lot of movement that they can do. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to I want to make sure that I have at least one agent sort of in the general area so that I can try and like push back. But I think what I want to do now is I want to start moving Tortina into some areas where I can capture some of these other votes. I'm thinking this is probably where I want to send Tortina, and this is probably where I want to send the candidate. So it's actually going to take 2 turns. Now again, keep in mind, what they're going to be trying to do here is undermine my presence inside here, but there's not a lot of votes that they can gain here. So even if they do actually manage to undermine the relationships with the patrons, it's not really guaranteed that it's going to have that big of an effect. So. Alright, so we're going to start moving people around. No for Robonzo, and yes for everybody else. Again, we're starting to get a little short on money. Oh. Come to collect what's mine, plus a little extra, the shark grins nastily. Tell me that you've got the money. I can give him the 30,000, or I can say, sorry, I don't have the money. This is actually a pretty important district for me, so in this case I'm going to pay up. It sucks, but I've still got some stuff in the bank, and it's important to remember too, you will see the magic that happens when I move out of these districts. So not a lot for Robonzo to do. I think we're going to be on a new week pretty soon, so I just want to keep them in the capital. Definitely makes sense to keep the dog campaigning here. And we've got 29,000 votes, so let's... Oh, I don't want to bribe. I want to raise funds. So I can get 22,000. Yeah, so the candidate's going to raise some funds. And if I get Tortina to do that, that's 22, but I think in this case it makes sense to spend those points raising my profile. So in this case... Yeah. Again, I'm an unpopular candidate, so I want to lock as many of those votes into my column as I can. And I also want to make sure I do a little campaigning in these areas just to make sure that I don't lose them to the undecideds. Yeah, so here they go. They're going to try and make a move on that district. So let's see what they did in mines before we make a decision. Nothing for Robonzo. Alright, an influential patron of the district has approached you asking for a favor. My son is on trial for crippling another animal. Can you help him avoid going to jail? I'm going to help the victim instead. Lose 10,000. Ah, now this is a big one because this is actually an influential patron. But this also locks all of the votes into my column. So I'm going for it. And unfortunately, this cost me in terms of my logistics, but I did just kind of lock in the district. So in terms of mines, it looks like they just went raising funds there, so I'm not too worried about that. Next up, Capital's got money available again, so we're going to start fundraising there. And we're going to move Tortina into factory, and we're going to move Bulldog into farm. So what's going to happen here is Bulldog is going to give a gift to this patron so that we can lower our logistics costs. And now the question is, I can do a campaign, or I can... So people power is not going to do much for me. So let's just see how many more votes can I get. 33? In this case, I think that's worth spending the money. It'd be nice if we can get sort of these dotted lines around the edge here for airport, but it's a little too tough. Or sorry, the dotted lines like in mines, but we would actually have to... Ah, looks like they actually managed to shift the influence. So I think this is their influence on... I think this is on the influential patrons where this happened. Let's just take a quick look at how they spent that turn. Yeah, so they moved over the mole, which I'm okay with because... Oh, actually they completely turned the votes over. So I think that was some kind of an event. Not great for us, but I'm still going to continue with the strategy because I can put the... I can just kind of lock in these areas. They're going to spend a long time dealing with me here. They've only got 9 days left, so... let's just keep spending money. Let's raise some funds. Now I can do people power. Okay, so let's influence him again. In this case, we're going to want at least 44. So it doesn't leave a lot for Tortina, but it's enough to at least get something done. And the important thing to remember here is that there's only one more turn in which Ricardog is really going to be that useful here in terms of locking in these votes. I could potentially abandon it right now, actually, and start working here. And notice that we've already got the influential patron. Next turn, Bulldog is going to be working on the popular patron. So we've set up a little bit of a strategy to start picking up these districts. Yes, sweet peanut butter. Again, I've got an unpopular candidate, so that margin can actually go away. But we'll see what we can do. And you can see they're actually starting to try and put some holes in my districts. So Robonzo is still not going to get paid. All right, let's see what we can do with our event. So while on a sortie, some volunteers ask you to dance the Macarona, a popular dance that has taken the island by storm. Sway to the right, sway to the left, spin around, and wiggle your butt. So one scandal, but bonus to reputation, or what does dancing have to do with my campaign? Definitely going for the votes. All right. So I think what we're actually going to do here is we're gonna go hard for farm. So let's boost my campaign. A lot of money being spent, but I'm okay with that. And finally we use what's left over to raise a mob in factory and bring it into my column. What I want to do before election day is make sure I spend a little bit of time in these districts just to make sure that they go my way. And as you can see, they're actually starting to try and chip away at my lead here, so I do need to decide whether or not I want to send the candidate in to start combating some of the efforts that they're making. I think here, I actually do think I'm gonna fight them in this region a little bit. So this is gonna be very costly, unfortunately, so. That was not worth it, actually, so we'll campaign. No money to raise here, so how much money's here? I don't have a good donor, though. I think we're actually just gonna raise some cash this time around. I don't like doing this, but this is gonna help push us to the end. Okay, so they just kind of screwed with me here and ran off. I blinked. That's not so good for me. Alright, nothing for Rabonzo. Okay, my youngest child has been diagnosed with a deadly disease, the influential patron says. I need 50,000 gold to pay for his medical bills. Will you lend it to me, my friend? This will actually also help my logistics, so this is a definite yes. But it is a very costly decision, so let's see what we can do with this instead. So we raise funds. Not a lot that I can get out of that, to be honest, but that's fine. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put more in my coffers. And so I've got 5 that I can spend right now. And I could make Ricardog Inspire, but I don't see a whole lot of reasons to do that. So yeah, in this case we'll just put more votes in my column. So they're continuing to, they're actually really trying to cause me trouble in this this key district that I have. So we're leading, and I've actually got a big money-making operation that I can do right now. So yes, we're going to pay Rabonzo so I can move him. Next up, I'm going to see what this is. So I can say your campaign manager has acquired evidence that a close relative of your opponent is suffering from mental illness. What do you do with it? I can lower the opponent reputation, but also lower the patron relationship. Now, normally I wouldn't go for this. I would go for the logistics. But the big thing here is that this patron has already gone fully towards goat. So in this case, screw him. It's still pretty costly for me to make a move there, so I'm gonna... I'm actually gonna sit on that for a little bit. So we'll raise funds. I think I'm going to keep Ricardog working here. I guess the big question is, do I want... Elkanu, thank you very much for that host, my friend. I think I'm actually going to get Tortina to do people power here. And then we'll move them into the top right corner. Hey, Mind God. Guys, Elkanu is another streamer who I really like. They're really trying to... So what they're going to try and do here is make a scandal break and push it against me. So, no to Rabonzo. I think I need to move... I actually think I need to move Bulldog here. I don't know if there's a lot that I'm going to be able to do about this. Sorry guys, I just want to... I'm just going to do this turn and then I'll let you know about Elkanu. Might as well campaign. And then we'll get... Oh, actually, Tortina's not going to be able to do a whole lot in this, but better than nothing. Alright, so guys, Elkanu is a French streamer, but recently just moved to the United States in time for a democratic exercise that I think maybe left a result very different from what we were maybe expecting. But he's an absolutely outstanding caster. He plays a great variety of games. I did mention the last couple of casters here who were variety casters. The big one for me for Elkanu is that he's played a lot of games which I've never heard about, but I really want to wind up playing myself. He's done a really fantastic job with a lot of this, with a lot of these games, and I have actually wound up buying some stuff as a result of his cast. So I think it's really exciting to watch him play games, especially new ones. I know he's waiting on his full-on computer rig to come in, so it's it's a little. I know he's probably not feeling like his cast is 100% what it could be, but I guarantee you, if you check out his channel, and hopefully we'll get a shout out for him quickly, if not, I'll be able to bring it up in a second. But even though he's a French-speaking caster, and my own French is a little weak, it doesn't matter at all. He's really managed to narrow down his ability to sort of communicate and interact with an audience, and he has. He's just really created this fantastic environment where. You can be entertained, even if it's the nonverbal communication or it's the reactions from things. He's just done an outstanding job of creating a cast where I feel really welcome and I have a really good time watching. So try out something new. I think it's wonderful. I mean, it's easy for me as Twitch, seeing that it's kind of very English dominant platform. I have no shortage of things to watch, but I really love casts like Elkanu simply because when it comes down to it, I'm always left with the belief that maybe some of the best casters are not ones that are English. He's, if he can entertain me that much when French is not my first language, I have to wonder what it's like with a native speaker. So let me just drop his name down there. I know he deserves a much better shout out than what I just gave, but definitely check him out. It's an absolute treat to watch him cast. I hope you're doing well, my friend. All right, I think they're going to try. Yep, they're keeping on going as scandals. So, I mean, it's possible here we're going to get devastated with our votes. So I actually need to make sure I shore things up in these districts. I'm not going to pay Rabonzo, although we might be tapped out in the capital. My boss wants you to have this, a goon of one of the wealthy patrons of the district says, as he hands you a bag full of gold. Yes, I'm taking the money, I need it. We've got one more turn of fundraising, which is good, because we only have 3 days left, and now we just go for a straight, flat-out burn to get as many votes as we can. So I think this day we try and seal up as many of these votes as we can. In this district, we can go from 3 to 12. We round up with 12, so we've locked up this district. What do I want Bulldog to do? So potentially 7,000 votes to be earned here. I can probably seal this one up too. But it will cost me how many? It'll cost me 2. You know what? I'm actually going to put everything into Tortina. So I think the big question now is, what do I want to spend the time on? Where's the best use of Bulldog? I think I'm actually going to get Bulldog to move here to make the initiatives a little easier, and then next round I'm going to take Ricardog and get him moving on Resort. I also need to find out what I'm going to do with Rabonzo, but we'll figure that out next turn. Oh, thank you so much, Elkanu. I do my best. Yeah, continuing to build up the scandals here, so this is potentially something that can turn this district against us. Have a good one, Mind God. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Alright, paying everybody. So Ricardog heads down below. Here we go. Bulldog caught in a scandal, and this is in airport, so we lost basically half of our votes there. The question is, am I able to move in? And looks like Godey's caught in a scandal, also in airport. So I actually have the patrons on my side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use Robonzo, and I'm going to dump a bunch of money into airport. Now, unfortunately, they're going to spend a lot to try and earn these voters over, but I'm going to do a big bribe on the last day of the campaign to make this work. So first up, we're campaigning for 5. Ooh, we've got a negative patron effect though. Well, we do our best. Bulldog will gift the logistics patron. And Tortina's going to be able to make their move next round. So we're on to the last day of the campaign. Alright, so they settled the scandals. Now looks like they just used that to raise some money, so I might be in luck. So everybody's getting paid. We're going to move Robonzo in here and see what it costs to bribe. Yep, I'm okay with that. So basically just dump money into the district, see what happens. Guerrilla rebels have taken a school hostage and threatened to make all the students disappear unless they're given a ransom of 25,000 gold. The citizens of the district look to you for help. Okay, so I have to see how I'm handling this. It's going to cost me nothing to inspire. Okay, so we're going to inspire. We're going to boost our votes here. It's going to cost 3 for Tortina. It's going to cost 5 for Ricardog, unfortunately, so... Or 3. Okay, so... Unfortunately, the bribe's not going to do a whole lot, but that's fine because we don't have anything left for the campaign, so we'll just use the last. We'll dump this money in Florida. Or, well, the game equivalent of Florida. And then we're going to do people power to use the last. And hopefully the activity in this area has gotten enough to push us over the edge. So Godey gets one more turn. All right, election day. No undecided voters in the capital. All for me. Obviously, in the base of operations for port, they also have full representation. So the in Cathedral, the undecideds broke for me. That's why I abandoned it, because in the end most of the votes were going to be heading my way. In this case, it should break for Godey. Although interestingly enough, it seems not as many went on his column, which is interesting. Again, unsurprising that airport went for me. So I'm pretty sure this means that we take it. The big ones are going to be whether or not these other regions head for me. We're on our way, Johnny Big Time. Yeah, so pretty unsurprising that police station kind of broke for Godey there. We sort of gave that away. Unsurprising that factory kind of broke my way. So we basically just want to see how much my margin is here, but I don't think they're going to be... I mean, they're relying on the undecideds breaking for them, and I don't think that's going to be enough. So unless a complete upset happens here, we're good. Okay, so Bank actually did wind up going for Godey, but we managed to get enough inside there. We've already got 50% of the vote, so at this point it's a mere formality. And they wound up going for Bulldog here. And we win with 52% of the vote. Landslide victory. After hot-fought election, Bulldog defeated Goaty by 174,719 votes. Bulldog will have a strong mandate to lead, except in the Port District, where they received only 0 out of 195 possible votes. We spent 1,014,321 gold compared to Goaty's 996,042 gold. We had absolutely abominable scandals here. Compared to Goaty, and it seems that the majority of the strategy, I don't know if this is me or Goaty, but in this case, both campaigning and people power were clearly my biggest ones. So as you can see here, even if we were to add the undecideds into Goaty's column, we still have a clear mandate. We took the capital, cathedral, airport, farm, factory, bank and resort, compared to police station, mines, casino, and port. And a much more convincing victory than our loss by 900 votes in the first time around. So definitely a much more educational. Really, in this game, you want to... Oh, how did we rank? Hey, another moral compass, Utopian. That's really funny that I always keep getting that. Leah2, thank you very much for that, host. All right, so I hope that was kind of I hope that was fairly clear in terms of where we went. So we did, we already won this before. I got 2 achievements. Autumn President, so win in Autumn Island. I think, what would be, I'm not ready to start another game. I actually need to pick up my laundry and go to bed, but let's just see. So it looks like Spring Island is the next one. So it would be Japan. So I believe we got a new district out of that. I just don't remember what it gives us. But yeah, that's Political Animals again, guys. I know it's a little bit of a shorter cast than last time, but I wanted to. I really wanted to make sure that I gave this game the proper treatment. I know the election had just happened, and everybody was feeling a little unsettled about it. If you guys are interested in this game, it is currently available on GOG. And we did just recently announce the affiliate partnership with them. So in this case here, if you're interested in picking up Political Animals, you can click on that link there. What will happen is you'll still pay the same for the game, but a little bit of the percentage of that money goes towards the cast instead of them. Also, if you're interested, you can follow the affiliate link down below, and in that particular case, basically anything that you buy there, again, a certain percentage will be going towards this cast. I'll also say, if you guys don't have a GOG membership, it's definitely a site that I'm a very big fan of, not only for its classic games. I'm actually starting to play some more contemporary games on it as well, so things such as Metro and that I'll be playing on my GOG account. And I will say that if you don't have a GOG account yet, even opening a GOG account does help me in some way. And more importantly, though, it is a service that I strongly believe in and I strongly advocate for. So it was really a partnership that I was very excited to engage in. As far as Political Animals, I really like it. It's a fun strategy game. I think it's... there's a couple of things that I don't understand about the hop mechanic for the rabbit, but overall, it's a very charming art style. I think it's very clear in terms of how you achieve what you're looking for. And there's enough sort of in terms of the achievements and whatnot that I think there's quite a bit going on. It's a really enjoyable game, and I hope it's one that you guys enjoy. So I believe it's about $20 Canadian right now, in whatever your regional equivalent is. If you sign up through that link. That's correct, Johnny Big Time. If you want, I can talk to you. I mean, this may be a partnership that you're interested in as well. But I can talk to you after the cast if you're sort of interested in that. I can get you in touch with who I was talking to about that. But yeah, so the best one, if you guys are interested, either following the Political Animals link or following the link down below, just click on that. That's just going to put a cookie on to sort of indicate that you came from my side. And if you sign up for an account through that, or if you wind up buying a game, there's a little bit of money that comes my way. So. I hope you guys like it. Again, it's a service that I'm a very big fan of myself, and I do intend to actually be putting up a video to sort of explain why GOG is my primary platform now. As for me, though, I know it's only an hour. This is Political Animals. I won, so I'm much happier with the game this time around. It's definitely a fun one. I also really like the way that it encourages you to think sort of in terms of the strategies a little bit like what you do for a political campaign. I have actually been thinking about political style games myself, both in terms of board games and video games lately, so this is very timely for me. But maybe I won't be talking too much about that because it's the time for these developers to shine. It's distributed by Positech Games, which of course made Democracy 3, but it's actually by Squeaky Wheel. Here are the people who worked on it. Cliff Harris, also known as Cliffsky, is the publisher. Anyways, guys, let's just take a quick second here and see who we can host tonight. If you guys have any questions about the game, feel free to drop them in chat, send me a message, tweet at me. But I do need to get some sleep tonight. And we've got Kilgore Trout, who's another, he's actually somebody who is a member of the GOG stream team. He's currently playing the original Half-Life, which I think is a fantastic game to watch. And he makes these classics look really well, look really good. So I'm going to give you the raid message right here. Sorry to deny you the music, but this is the way that these games tend to work. I'm going to try and hang out a little bit with Kilgore Trout, but I do need to get some sleep tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed Political Animals. Thank you very much for hanging out as well, and we will see you tomorrow for Stellaris. Have a good one, guys.